What is up, you guys? It is your girl, Deja D, and hi. It has been a minute since I recorded a podcast episode. I know I dropped last week, Monday, but that episode was already recorded like a long time ago before I took my break in April. So, this is my first podcast episode officially being back, and I'm excited about it. We have a lot to catch up on. So yeah, let's just hop right into today's episode. Welcome to the podcast. If this is your first time hearing my voice or seeing my face or tuning in, thank you all so much for tuning in. My name is Deja D. I am 22 and this is my podcast called Let Me Tell You Something on my platform, Deja's Daily Dose. So I started Deja's Daily Dose back in college, my freshman year. And it was to basically just build a community around just navigating life in your early 20s. And the platform has grown into what it is today. I'm super excited about it. I'm super thankful for everybody who tunes in. When I took my break, people were sending me messages like, hey, when is the podcast episode coming back? And people was commenting and I was just reading all of those different things. So I was just like really tapping back into remembering why I started the podcast and not letting imposter syndrome, not letting comparison, which is the biggest thief of joy, interfere with that. And yeah, just really tapping back into my purpose. And letting that be the fuel to highlight and to motivate me to keep pushing through this season. We're human. We understand these things. So yeah, welcome back. I'm back. I'm making content again on all of my platforms. I'm tapping back in. We're creatives, or I'm a creative, and you have to just allow for my process to be what it is. But thank you for everybody who checked in. Thanks to everybody who was, like, hey girl, where's the podcast episode? Because imagine me thinking that it's not a whole 1-2 when people are really checking for it every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, welcome. Make sure you're following me, your host Deja D, at DEJ 7 A's and a D on all social media platforms. By all, I mean mostly TikTok and Instagram. Maybe I'll get back on Twitter, but I'm thinking I'm mostly going to get active on Twitter on Deja's Daily Dose. So yeah, I'm serious. I'm really tunnel vision into the podcast and stuff right now, and the blog and everything. We'll talk more about that throughout this episode. But yeah, make sure you're following me, Deja D, on those two platforms, and make sure you're following Deja's Daily Dose on everything, which is TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And also make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page if you are not already. I am back vlogging as well. So as well as the podcast content, you all will be getting vlogs as well. So make sure you're tapped in for that. The first one should be coming this week. I'm super excited about it. So yeah. And if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, definitely make sure you're following. Make sure you also rate the show. You all can go on Spotify and rate the show 1 star through 5 stars. I'm hoping I'm a 5-star chick. But definitely make sure you rate the show, and be sure to just share this platform, share this community. Let's really build it up. I'm going to do my part, and I just hope that you all do your part with just supporting me. But I'm definitely going to step up and get back to posting the content and get back to just tapping back into Deja and making sure I'm producing the best content that I can for you all in whatever shape or form that is. So yeah, you guys, thank you again for rocking with me and, stand with me during this time. And by the title of this episode, it is called I Deserve to Be Loved Unconditionally. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about this topic. Because let me tell you something, I deserve to be loved unconditionally. So I took the month of April off for the most part. I just needed a break from posting. I needed a break from creating. I was working on things and stuff in my life outside of my content, such as my job, companies that I run social media for. I just needed a break. And sadly, the break ended up coming with my own stuff. But, life be lifing. And I got to a point during the beginning of April where I was extremely overwhelmed with balancing everything. You know, I'm new to this adulting thing. I have officially been out of college about a year now. So navigating life post grad, hence post grad diaries, is not easy. But I'm managing it, I'm balancing it, and it's a lot. It is a lot. And shout out to everybody out there who is navigating life post grad, especially those first few years post grad, because you're like balancing just, your schedule, and you're doing things, and it just seems like things just never seem to stop. Like stuff just never seems to stop. It's always something that needs to be done. You can't just really like sit down. Even your chill days, you still have to be doing something to prepare yourself for the day that you're not chill. So yeah, I just kind of got a little in over my head. I didn't have a planner, if I'm being honest. So in that whole, whiff span of my break, a lot of things have happened, which is what we're going to be talking about today in this episode of the podcast. And just knowing that throughout all of those different things, to be kind to yourself, show yourself grace, show yourself mercy, be nice to yourself and love yourself unconditionally in those, things that you're trying to balance. So yeah, I didn't have a planner. The planner that I had was actually from last year. So, I just was kind of like finishing it up, and it's like finishing up. So I got myself a new planner. So I'm back on track, getting organized as far as just like, okay, this bill is due this day. This is due this day. This is due this day. I have to do this day. This needs to be done by this time. This needs to be there. Like really scheduling out my day. That way I can be the best Deja for everybody. The best Deja for my clients. The best Deja for Deja. The best Deja for my relationship. The best Deja for my family. The best Deja for just everything. The best Deja for you all, the people, my viewers, my audience. But mostly the best Deja for me. There's a lot of things that I want to reach, a lot of things that I want to accomplish, a lot of goals I want to hit. And I just felt like I was missing the mark on so many things. So it got really overwhelming, overpowering. And I was getting pissed off. And I got to the point where I was like, I don't even give a fuck about the podcast. Like, that's how overwhelmed I was. And for me to say I don't give a fuck about my podcast, my baby, my podcast that I invested so much time, so much money, so much energy into, for me to not give a fuck about that, I just needed a break. I just needed some time to just say, you know what? Like, let's get ourselves together. Let's clean up our room. Y'all, I'm in the process of organizing my room. I organized my entire desk. I organized my makeup. I went through it. I bought a shelf, like a whole shelf to put in my room. I bought hella hangers, 100 fucking hangers to hang up my clothes. And I still have more to do, but I just started getting overwhelmed with life and adulting to the point where I said, fuck my podcast. And essentially, did I say fuck my podcast and do it? No, I just took a break. I just took a break to regroup. I took a break to reconnect, because even if you all can, see from the last few episodes of the podcast, they were very quick, because I felt like, okay, I planned out the season before I started the season. And now that the season is going through, how many times can I talk about the same topic? Like, I just start really beating myself up, getting to in my head, whatever the case may be. So I had to just tie it back. I had to just dial it back in, refocus, regroup, and pick myself back up and make sure that I was going to be the best version of myself to continue this season out strong. We have a few more episodes to go. We're ending the season in June. So I was like, I have to end it with a bang. I have to make sure the content is good. I have to make sure I'm promoting it good. I have to make sure I'm also doing TikTok content, because you all need that from me. You all need the Twitter from me. You all need that from me as well as this. So I just had to make sure I was showing up for myself. So yeah, let's talk about some things. Let's talk about some things that I haven't said to you all, and really get into it. Okay, here we go. They just about to spill some beans. But let me tell you something. I thank God that I did not get into grad school. Earlier this year, I was going through what would I even want to call it? I would call it like a overachiever. I would call it a confused overachiever phase where it's like, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. I see my peers going to school, and it's like, do I feel like I need to go to school again? I see my peers, working a certain type of jobs. Do I need to do that? Like, you're kind of like comparing yourself. I've really been comparing myself too fucking much, honestly. And that was one of the things that I also had to take a break, from posting and stuff, because I need to just be confident in Deja. I need to just be confident in Deja. And some people might be listening to this and be like, wow, like, Deja, we love your content. And like, I can't believe you were feeling these feelings. And like, you're somebody we look up to in X, Y, and Z. And I love that. But at the end of the day, if I'm being honest and I'm being real with you all, I was looking around just trying to figure out, am I doing enough? And that's crazy for me to even say, because, and this is why I needed a break, because now I could tap back in and say, you know what, Deja? Like, I moved to a whole nother freaking city, and I did it with my partner, so it's not like I did it alone, but it's not like we had any assistance. You know what I mean? Like, we picked ourselves up. We got our stuff together. I moved immediately after I graduated from college. I had to do what I had to do, and I got it done. And we live in a fully furnished, place. I'm sitting in a nice ass leather. Like, can you see my little chair, guys? I can't even show you. Whatever. I can't even pick it up to show you all. But I'm sitting in a nice chair with a nice desk and a nice microphone and a nice camera. Like, I'm living in a prayer, but I'm not satisfied. And that just comes with being an overachiever. That just comes with being a Black woman. That comes with being an oldest daughter. That just comes from being a Leo. That just comes from a bunch of different things that, yeah, I thank God that I didn't get into grad school. Earlier this year, probably around February-ish, beginning of March, I was like, I want to go to grad school. I was like, I'm going to apply to go to grad school. Like, fuck it. I'm going to try to get a PhD in psychology. Like, let's go. Let's do it. And I thank God that I didn't get in. I paid the application fee. I applied. I got my letters of recommendation. I was calling Hampton to get my transcripts. Like, I got my transcripts sent over. Like, I did the whole 1-2 process. And I didn't get in, which was, I literally like cried for a little bit, and then I just was kind of over it. And I knew I didn't want to go to grad school because I did the application. Like, it was just one of those things. It's like, I thought about it. I said, okay, fuck it. I'm going to apply. If I get in, then I'll go. If I don't, then oh well. Wasn't meant to be. And that's literally what it was. And the reason why I thank God that I didn't get it is because I felt as though it's not my time to go to grad school. I have so much that I want to do outside of school. I literally just got out of school, and I have the freedom to really do Deja to the fullest potential. Do this to my fullest potential. I have so much knowledge, so much skills, so many ideas that I literally, my biggest downfall is not having the time and not giving myself and organizing myself to have the time to do everything that I want to do. There's so many ideas. There's so much talent that I have that is untouched, unseen, because one, there's just not enough time in my day for me to accomplish everything realistically. I want to go to the gym. I want to eat right. I want to be in a relationship. I want to work. Well, I don't want to work, but I got to work. I have to, get my money. I have to do a bunch of things, take care of myself, making sure I'm clean, looking nice, doing X, Y, and Z, nails done, hair done, all of that type of stuff. And so just balancing living on top of, like, it's like balancing maintaining what you already have and wanting to grow more. So I need that time to like figure that out without trying to now add something else on my plate, which is school. One of my biggest things when I was in undergrad was I have all these ideas, I have all these things I want to do, but I don't have the time to do it. I want to travel. I want to take this on the road. I want to continue to promote my books that I haven't got the opportunity to truly sell and promote the way that I want to. I want to build this platform to the greatest thing that I possibly can. I have the skills to do so, yet I don't take the time to do it. I'm spending my time managing other brands' social media, building their following, building their sales on products, yet not tapping into my own. And now I want to add school on it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I thank God that I didn't get into grad school. I want to be Deja D to the fullest. I want to do this to the fullest. And right now, my focus is doing that. My focus is maintaining my day-to-day life, but making sure that I'm not being lazy when it comes to my brand, making sure that I'm not being lazy when it comes to me. I needed a break from social media and posting for a little bit to make sure that I can recharge, refuel, reconnect, and I don't want to continue on this path of taking on task and not performing to my fullest, if that makes sense. I am always doing that, and I'm working on not doing that anymore. Like, I want to be the best version of Deja in everything that I sign myself up for. I want to be the best version of Deja in my relationship. I want to be the best version of Deja in my family. I want to be the best version of Deja in my job, on my podcast, on my channel, in my content, and adding school back into that. And not only just school, grad school, PhD program onto that. It's not time for me to do that. I need to explore and do this to my fullest potential without school. This is my first time in my life not being in school, and I have a lot of time to do this. I have to make the time to do this. Being an entrepreneur is not easy because there's not a set schedule. You have to make it for yourself, and I need to work on my discipline. I need to work on my time management, and I need to be focused. And grad school, I just didn't need to do that. So yes, that is what I wanted to tell you all. I needed to stop comparing myself. My journey is not everybody else's journey. Everybody else doesn't have a platform like this that they're making podcasts and doing this type of content on. And that's fine. You know, they might do the grad school, but that's not my calling. If it was, I would have gotten in. Point blank period. My grades were good. I had the letter of recommendation. I went to undergrad studying the specific thing that I was applying to go to grad school for. I had the qualifications, the background, the everything. I had, I could have gotten into grad school, but I truly do believe that God was like, Deja, you don't need that right now. You mentally do not need that. And you are going to slow down what I have for you if you get into this program. Like, I know you. He knows me. I'm scatterbrained. I'm short-tempered. I'm easily unfocused, and adding something else on my plate would have just overwhelmed me too much, because it's not like I would have stopped working. It's not like anything would have stopped. If anything, it would have just been adding on more stresses. And yeah, I have a degree. Let's put this one to work for real, for real. Like right now it's working because I work in my field, but let's put it to work for real, for real. Let's put these skills and this knowledge that I already have with my student loans to work, get it some money back from that. And then we'll talk about grad school, later on down the line, once you feel like you've reached your full potential with that. If you need to go to grad school, then you could go. It's always going to be there. School will always be there. But this time right now that you have, you better take it while you can. So, yeah, I had to kind of shift my mindset from, that of, what am I doing with my life? I need to go to grad school. I need to find something to do to occupy myself. I felt like, okay, what am I doing? I'm competing with myself on how busy I am versus truly tapping into this and not letting school be my title, not letting school be my life. Just because I'm not in school doesn't mean that I'm not doing anything. Just because I'm not in school doesn't mean that I'm not successful. Just because I'm not in school does not mean that Deja is equivalent to nothing. And sometimes you need that reminder. So if anybody is out there listening and they're like, hey, do I need to go back to grad school because so-and-so is going back to grad school? Do I need to do this because this is going on? You know what I mean? I'm here to tell you, you probably don't need to. School is not your identity. So yeah. But yeah, that is the first thing I wanted to tell you all. Another reason why I needed a break is because I wanted to truly get acclimated with where I'm at now. You know, I was talking to my partner and I was just telling her that I need to slow down. And this kind of ties into what I was saying earlier. Like, I need to learn to slow down. I need to learn that I cannot have a to-do list that I can't even maintain. And like I said, a lot of that came from not having a planner, not being organized, not actually having a to-do list, just having a bunch of stuff in my head that I know I have to do. So I have been doing better with my planner. Again, when I was really doing my shit, I had a planner. I didn't get a new planner for the new year. Whoop-de-doo. So I got a planner. I'm getting my shit together. And I'm also using my notes on my phone to have an active running to-do list. And I'm accomplishing things. So I'm just feeling more productive. I need to just maximize my time and not overwhelm myself with adulting, because like I said, it doesn't stop. You don't get a break. It's always something that needs to be done. I need to call this company. I need to do this. I need to pay this bill. I need to go do this. I need to get this from the store. I need to make sure I do this. I need to go do this. I need to make sure I'm doing this, because like I said, I'm at a point where, okay, we're good. We're maintaining, and we're living and we're doing good. And you know, this is this, but I want to elevate to another level, which requires you to not only maintain, but to now exceed. And that can be in multiple aspects of my life. You know, I can be in a relationship. Okay, cool. You're dating. But if you want to take the next step into, you know, marriage or something, what does that look like? That's more work. That's more this. That's more that, you know, whatever. Okay, I'm working, you know, regular entry level, blah, blah, blah. I need to make sure I'm getting the skills, networking, doing what I need to do to get promoted, to get a raise, to do whatever. Cool. Okay, we're working out, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this. And let's get to the next level of setting a new goal, you know, trying to reach a new thing. Sidebar. I talked about it in my YouTube vlog that's coming out later on this week. But I'll let you all know on my podcast because I love you all so much. Your girl is training for her first marathon. Oh. So yeah, I'm training for my first marathon. We'll talk about that more on my vlog, so make sure you're all tuned into that. And we'll talk about it more throughout this podcast if we need to, if it feels free. I just wanted to sprinkle that in there. And yeah, let me know if y'all want content on that, training content, anything like that. I'm excited about it. I'm trying to do my 3 miles in 30 minutes. So that's my goal. I figured if I share the goal with you all, I have to hold myself accountable to it. So yeah, well, but like I said, I talk about all of that more in my vlog that's coming out. I did like a life update Q&A. So I got more in detail about that. So make sure you're all watching that. Back to the podcast. There we go. But yeah, if I want to elevate what I'm doing in my life, that requires me to take more time to do that. So me going to the gym, working out regularly is different than me going and working out for a marathon. Like now I have to incorporate not only, okay, I'm just doing my 15 minutes of cardio. That could be walking. No, I have to hit 3 miles or more. I have to hit this many steps. So that's going to take more of my time. That's going to take more training. That's going to take more in the gym and out the gym. Now I have to go walk. Now I have to go do these actual trails physically and not just hit the gym, lift my little weight to keep it pushing. No. So I say all of that to say that I wanted to just really get grounded here. I needed to just slow down. I wanted to slow down, just period, everything that I had going on. I wanted to make sure that I was being, like I said, the best version of Deja. I wanted to make sure that I was being the best version of myself in all aspects. And I wanted to make sure I was being the best version of myself for my little puppy, Leo. He's sleeping. Oh, Leo, come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here. He's looking crazy. He gets a haircut tomorrow, so just mind. He's like taking a nap, and honestly, he needs to just stay over there so I could keep recording this podcast. But maybe I'll show him before I cut this episode off. But I've incorporated a puppy into my life, and he's literally like a baby. I've been wanting a dog for so long. I have clips of when we first brought him home. That's going to be in the vlog, so make sure you're all following and subscribe to the channel for that. But yeah, I incorporated a puppy into my life. We got a dog, and like I said, I'll talk about that more there. But overall, I just wanted to make sure that I was doing things outside of just work. I feel like it's easy for us and easy for me to get tied into like, who am I with work? Who am I within the creative space? Who am I? How many followers do I have? What is my engagement looking like? How is my content doing? How is my podcast doing? How is work doing? I'm trying to really just work on just being Deja and just being present and being grateful and being thankful for where I am at. And also in that process of me being grateful, taking the steps to better myself. I don't want to get stagnant in life, but I also want to learn to appreciate where I'm at. Like, cool, I got a job. I've had my job now for 5 months. I'm grateful for it. I do want to, get a raise, get a little move to another something, but still being grateful from where I was. You know what I mean? Because it could be a lot worse. So yeah, just taking my time, and really building myself in the community that I live in. You know, I moved to a whole new city and getting acclimated with that. My content is doing really good when it comes to my series that I'm doing. Things to do in Philly this spring and summer. I have some viral videos on there. So definitely check that out on my TikTok, Deja D, and my Instagram. Some of the videos are on there, but it's mostly on my TikTok. So make sure you check that out if you all have not. But yeah, I just really wanted to make sure that I was building my home, building my new home. My grandma came out here not too long ago. She came at the end of March. I got her a ticket to come out here and visit, and that was so fun. She got to see us and hang out and, see my place, and it was just so much fun. And then we got a dog. So it's just like really just learning to just love where I'm at, love my life, build my little family, and, be Deja. And lastly, to tie everything up and to wrap back in, with the title, I need to just learn to slow down. Learning that it's okay to just slow down. You have your whole life. I have to always remind myself that I'm 22. I have to always remind myself that I'm 22, and that is young. I'll be 23 in July, but 22 is young. Like, I cannot expect myself to be where I want to be at. And it's great that I have these goals. It's great that I have these things that I want to accomplish, and I know that I'm going to accomplish them all. But to think that I'm supposed to be where I want to be at life at 22 is unrealistic. It's just not the reality. But I do think that I'm taking the steps that I need to take to get where I want to be. And I know I'm going to be successful. I know God has a beautiful plan for my life. And I just have to trust the journey and make sure that I'm learning everything that I need to learn along the way. So yeah, I'm super thankful for everything that I've gone through, super thankful for the journey, super thankful for where I am right now. And I just need to embrace the beauty in that, and embrace the beauty in where I'm at. And I think I've said that enough. and already throughout this podcast. And I hope that somebody listening in is taking what I'm saying and applying it to their own life. And like I said, a lot of people might even know, some people might be like, Deja, why do you even feel this way? Like, you kind of got it going on. You're doing so much better than X, Y, and Z. But these are internal thoughts that we all can be having. It's very similar. Like, I'm not that much different than all of you all. And that's why I made this podcast, to talk about navigating life in your early 20s. Because as a Black woman, we have this pressure of perfection on our lives. We have this pressure to be the best and to reach the goals and to get the degrees and to get the PhDs and to get the this and to get the that and to get the money and the cars and the relationship and the wedding and the this and all of these different things. And you have to just kind of remind yourself, like, girl, calm your ass down. You are 22. You're 22. I'm watching Sex and the City right now. I'm almost done, and I'm going to be sad when I'm done. But seeing these women who are in their 30s and their 40s and they're still figuring it out, and it's just like, you know what? Life is about figuring it out. Like, every day you're supposed to learn something. You're always going to be evolving. You're always going to be changing. Embrace where you are at. Embrace change. And learn to slow down in your head, because you're already not slowing down. You always got to wake up and get something done. So make sure you're slowing down and appreciating where you are now. You deserve to be loved unconditionally. And I titled this because that was already what I had it titled, but I tied it into this topic and I wanted to, talk about it in a different way other than just like relationships and outside external love, because we talked about that before. We talked about, making sure you're surrounding yourself with people who love you unconditionally, X, Y, and Z. But I wanted to make sure we talked about loving yourself unconditionally, yourself. Making sure that I, Deja, love myself unconditionally, no matter if I'm in school, making sure I love myself, no matter if I get a promotion, making sure I love myself, no matter if I'm in a relationship, making sure I love myself, no matter how small I get, how, much fitness stuff I do, regardless of what I got going on, I need to make sure that I'm loving myself, appreciating where I'm at, taking time for myself, not comparing myself, and being grateful in where I'm at in my journey. So yeah, make sure you all are loving yourself. Take some time for yourself, no matter what that is, whether you need to take a break from book club, whether you need to take a break from your podcast, whether you need to take a break from your friends for a little bit, take a solo date without your boo. Anything that is, making sure you're tapping in and loving yourself and being thankful for who you are in your unique, beautiful way. Let's talk about this topic in the comment section below. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're engaging with us on social media. I'm going to make sure that I have the content flowing over there on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, which is now called X, but we're going to call it Twitter still. But yeah, I love you all. I'm super excited to be kicking ass and finishing off this season. Next episode is called Friends with Benefits. You all don't know what that's about, but make sure you're following. And I'll see you next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so we could talk about friends with benefits. Okay? I'm your host, Deja D. You're tuned in to Let Me Tell You Something. I will see you all next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.